A dose of reality, ego's iron grip. The ego is the enemy of reason, a relentless force that distorts our perception of the world. These words, penned by Ryan Holiday, cut to the heart of a pervasive human struggle, a battle that rages within us all. Ego, that insidious voice in our heads, whispers tales of our own grandeur, blinding us to reality and leading us astray. It thrives on external validation, craving praise and shunning criticism, feeding off the accolades and approval of others. But here's the catch. Ego is a master of deception, a wolf in sheep's clothing, always lurking beneath the surface. It masquerades as confidence, ambition, even self-belief, making it difficult to distinguish from genuine qualities. Yet, beneath its alluring facade lies a dangerous trap, a snare that can ensnare even the most vigilant among us. Ego's grip is subtle, often imperceptible, creeping into our lives without us even realizing it. It seeps into our thoughts, coloring our perceptions and shaping our actions, influencing our decisions in ways we might not notice. We become prisoners of our own inflated self-importance, oblivious to the pitfalls that lie ahead, unaware of the dangers that ego brings. This is the essence of Holiday's message. Ego, in its insatiable hunger for recognition, becomes the ultimate saboteur of our potential, undermining our true capabilities and achievements. Unveiling the enemy within Holiday's insight. Ryan Holiday, a renowned author and strategist, delves deep into the human psyche to expose the perils of unchecked ego. His work is a profound exploration of how our own minds can become our worst enemies. Ego is the Enemy isn't a self-help manual filled with platitudes. It's a wake-up call, a stark reminder of the internal battles we all face. It challenges us to confront the often uncomfortable truths about ourselves. Holiday masterfully blends philosophical insights with real-world anecdotes, drawing upon the wisdom of historical figures like Marcus Aurelius and Jackie Robinson. These stories serve as powerful examples of how ego can both drive and destroy. He argues that ego manifests in various forms: arrogance, self-obsession, and an inflated sense of self-worth. It can be seen in the need to be right, the fear of failure, and the constant desire for validation. It's the voice that tells you you're better than others, that you are superior in every way, that you deserve special treatment, and that the world owes you something. It convinces you that your ideas are always the best, and that others should always listen to you. This inflated sense of self, Holiday contends, is a recipe for disaster, hindering our ability to learn, grow, and form meaningful connections. By recognizing and managing our ego, we can pave the way for personal and professional success. The perils of pretense: why ego sabotages success. Imagine a musician, brimming with raw talent but blinded by the allure of fame. He craves recognition, accolades, the adoration of fans. His focus shifts from honing his craft to chasing superficial validation. He surrounds himself with yes-men, shunning constructive criticism. The music suffers, his growth stagnates, and his potential remains unfulfilled. This, Holiday argues, is the insidious nature of ego. It prioritizes perception over reality, blinding us to our own shortcomings. Ego thrives on external markers of success: wealth, status, power. It seeks shortcuts, shying away from the hard work and dedication true mastery requires. We become more concerned with appearing successful than actually being successful. This preoccupation with appearances prevents us from embracing challenges, learning from failures, and ultimately reaching our full potential. Trapped in the comparison game, ego's favorite pastime. Social media, with its curated feeds and highlight reels, has become a breeding ground for ego. We scroll through endless streams of seemingly perfect lives, comparing ourselves to others and feeling inadequate. This constant comparison traps us in a vicious cycle of envy, self-doubt, and insecurity. We forget that behind every filtered photo and boastful caption lies a human being with their own struggles and insecurities. Holiday reminds us that everyone's journey is unique. There's no point in comparing our chapter 1 to someone else's chapter 20. Ego thrives on this comparison game, whispering that we're not good enough, smart enough, or successful enough. It distracts us from our own path, hindering our ability to focus on our own goals and aspirations. Section 5. The allure of praise, the sting of criticism, ego's fragile nature. Ego craves praise like a drug. It feeds off compliments, accolades, and recognition. When we receive praise, our ego inflates, reinforcing our belief in our own greatness. But here's the paradox. The more we rely on external validation, the more fragile our ego becomes. We become dependent on the approval of others, terrified of criticism or judgment. Criticism, even when constructive, is perceived as a personal attack. We become defensive, dismissive, or worse, lash out at those who dare to question our perceived perfection. This inability to handle criticism stifles growth and innovation. It prevents us from seeing our blind spots and making necessary improvements. Section 6. When confidence morphs into conceit, a slippery slope. Confidence, a belief in one's abilities, is essential for success. It allows us to take risks, embrace challenges, and persevere in the face of adversity. Ego, however, distorts confidence into conceit. We become arrogant, believing that our way is the only way. We dismiss the ideas and perspectives of others, convinced of our own superiority. This arrogance creates a chasm between ourselves and others. We alienate potential collaborators, mentors, and friends. We become isolated in our own echo chamber, surrounded by yes-men who reinforce our inflated sense of self. This isolation breeds stagnation, preventing us from learning, evolving, and reaching our full potential. Section 7. Real-world tales of ego's downfall. History is replete with cautionary tales of individuals consumed by their own egos. From powerful rulers blinded by their own authority to brilliant minds undone by their arrogance, the message is clear. Unchecked ego is a recipe for disaster. Holliday cites examples like General George McClellan, a Union general during the Civil War, whose inflated ego and belief in his own brilliance led to costly military blunders. McClellan, convinced of his own superiority, consistently overestimated his abilities and underestimated his opponents, ultimately hindering the Union's war effort. Section 8. Taming the Beast: Practical Strategies for Ego Management. Recognizing ego's influence is the first step towards managing it. Holliday offers practical strategies for keeping our egos in check. He emphasizes the importance of humility, reminding us that we're all works in progress, constantly learning and evolving. He encourages us to seek out mentors who can provide honest feedback and guidance, helping us identify and address our blind spots. Another key strategy is to focus on the process, not the outcome. When we become fixated on external validation, we lose sight of the joy and fulfillment that come from the pursuit itself. By shifting our focus to the journey, we free ourselves from ego's grip and open ourselves up to new possibilities. Section 9. The Power of Humility, the Antidote to Ego. Humility, often misconstrued as weakness, is actually a sign of strength. It requires us to acknowledge our limitations, embrace our imperfections, and be open to learning from others. Humility allows us to approach challenges with a beginner's mindset, eager to learn and grow. When we cultivate humility, we create space for collaboration, innovation, and genuine connection. We become more receptive to feedback, more willing to admit our mistakes, and more committed to personal growth. Humility, in essence, is the antidote to ego's poison. Section 10. Embracing Growth, a life beyond ego's grip. Ego is the enemy is a call to action, an invitation to embark on a lifelong journey of self-discovery and growth. It challenges us to look beyond the superficial and dig deep into our true selves. It reminds us that true fulfillment comes not from external validation, but from the pursuit of excellence, the joy of mastering a craft, and the satisfaction of personal progress. The courage to embrace challenges, to face our fears head-on, and to push beyond our comfort zones, and the humility to learn from our mistakes, to accept our flaws, and to grow from them. By taming our egos, we unlock our true potential, discovering strengths we never knew we had, freeing ourselves from the shackles of insecurity, self-doubt, and the constant need for external approval. We learn to value our own opinions and trust our own judgments. We embrace a life of continuous learning, meaningful connections, and unwavering self-belief. We find joy in the journey itself, not just the destination. The journey may be challenging, filled with obstacles and setbacks, but the rewards are immeasurable. Each small victory brings us closer to our true selves. Remember, as Ryan Holiday reminds us, the only way to be truly satisfied is to do great work that resonates with our inner values and passions. And the only way to do great work is to love it, to pour our hearts and souls into what we do. When we silence the voice of ego and follow our passions with unwavering dedication, we find a deeper sense of purpose. We unlock a level of fulfillment that no amount of external validation can ever match. This is the essence of living a life beyond ego's grip.